wide. We've all got time enough to cry. I was walking down the street one day.
The world will see the Grizzlies. Good morning, everybody. Nice to have you aboard. Yeah, yesterday the word came out. I think the last 2 years, Memphis, with Ja, averaged 6 national TV games per year. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? 18 national TVs. That's a new record. 11 of them on ESPN and ABC. Seven. With Charles Barkley, Ernie, Kenny, Shaq. They'll be part of the TNT deal. That's a lot. And then that doesn't even include 10 more on NBA TV, which is okay. It's national. Most people have it with their systems these days. So that's a lot of exposure. 28 out of your 82 games will be nationally designated. Wow. Unbelievable. So that's one story. That, of course, came out yesterday. We'll get into that in just a second. The big story today, I just heard Greg, Eli, Harold Grader from the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. They were all discussing this. The Big Ten deal is in. This is staggering. Fox, CBS, NBC. No ESPN for football after 2023. I think they still have some basketball maybe through 25. That's it. But the Big Ten is now a Fox, a CBS, and an NBC deal. They have 3 networks. It is $1 billion a year for 7 years. Each came up with $350 million. Each entity. It's all the way through 34, I believe. Can you imagine the amount of money? Look, just to give you a little comparison here. So those schools in the Big Ten, I don't even know how much that means. What is that? 120, 130 million a school? I don't know.
I heard over 200 million per member institution a year. I don't know if that math, but that's what I read. That's what it said. But that doesn't, like you said, the math doesn't equate.
That wouldn't work.
It could be on average, maybe. I'm not sure how it works.
But it's backloaded for when USC and UCLA come in too. So it's not going to even be $100 million per school because there's 14 schools. So that can't be right.
But UCLA's debt was also over $100 million. I'm pretty sure part of the reason going to the Big Ten was getting that money back. So I'm not sure what it equates to, but somewhere in that range for sure.
Yeah. Because you also take into account other aspects besides just the billion per year that you're going to get. But, it is so much bigger than even what the SEC gets. The SEC deal that I saw with ESPN, because they turned down what NBC ended up getting. And the Big Ten was offering ESPN that deal for this primetime deal for $380 million, and they balked. And they gave the SEC, I believe, for that old CBS package, $300 million. Now, they're going to get more, but I don't know if they're going to equate with the 3 networks what the Big Ten is getting. It's
NFL style.
Amazing. And you couple that with yesterday, this story got kind of lost, but the college presidents and chancellors, there's 11 of them, that make up the college football playoff board. It's not the management group, which are basically the conference commissioners and a few other college football insiders, but this is the group over them. And they are talking, and they did for, I guess, about 5 minutes, about who really will control the sport. It's not going to be the NCAA. Say goodbye to the NCAA controlling football. Really, they haven't for a while anyway. But here's what you could see. I mean, if these guys are in control, does it necessarily mean that we stop at 85 scholarships? Maybe they go to more. Does it mean they put in their own NIL sort of salary caps? I don't know. Everything is up for grabs. The other aspect that is of most importance to me, and I think to college football and college athletics in total, is if indeed they take over college football, will they be inclusive? Okay, let's just say the way this is playing out with these big deals that the Big Ten and probably the SEC will end up with. Will they end up with 40 teams, 20 per? And then they'll play like, I think I saw 11 conference games, like 3 rivalry games, 6 amongst the others that rotate. It's actually a pretty decent formula that makes it a league, but you're only playing 1 non-conference game per year, and that would make the playoffs even better. Let's just say that's the case. And they are going to be somewhat inclusive. I don't know if this is the way it works. It seems to me it would be better overall for all of college football, including the networks, if they were to do this, if they allow the other 3 conferences to be in the party. This is how you do that. Those 2 are, okay, they're the big power guys. I get it. But it's like the NCAA tournament. You say, let's say you have 16, and you make automatic qualifiers for your champions. That's 5. That means there's 11, or if you allow a 6th conference in there, maybe there's 6 conferences that get automatic bids, or a combination of those that are outside the power that are still the 5 that we know that exist. And so one gets in that way. That's 6. That's still 10 at-large berths for all the other schools to be allowed to come in. If they do that, then college football can still exist beyond just those 2 conferences. We'll have to wait and see. They're actually talking about they could make changes to the college football playoff format in 2 years. Everybody says this is going to go through 25. That's when the current TV contract with the college football playoff is done. They could terminate it in 2 years and start anew if the networks agree to do it. And they may be with all this new influx of stuff that's going on. So a lot of stuff definitely up for grabs. Going to be interesting. I'm not going to say this is the demise of all the other conferences yet. Let's see what the College Football Playoff Committee, which will end up being the oversight for all of college football, I think, in the long run. Let's see which direction they go to here in the next year or 2. And who knows what the Big Ten's going to do. I mean, I think Big Ten's going to end up going to 20, just like the SEC. If the SEC can somehow get into the ACC and those prime Clemson, Florida State, Miami entities, I do think Notre Dame's involved in this. I think they're going to the Big Ten because their deal is with NBC. I can't imagine NBC spending that much money and just saying, okay, we're going to do a separate thing with Notre Dame. I don't know.
Seems like a similar audience, too, that really cares. I mean, the whole country cares about Notre Dame football. It seems like there's people all over the place, but it seems like that's the same market, the people that really follow and love the Big Ten and love Notre Dame.
Well, it just seems to me that Notre Dame is going to make less. Their demand was $70 million from NBC. I think the Big Ten schools are going to make more than that. So why wouldn't you go? And I don't know if that decreases your possibilities of getting in to the playoffs, but you could still get in as an at-large if they go and expand the playoffs. That would come into, I think, play for at least the Notre Dame decision. So a lot to play out there. We're going to hear from Joey Magnifico. College or high school football starts tomorrow. St. Benedict is going to play against Brighton. There's a lot of stuff I want to cover with Joey Magnifico. We'll have Russell Copeland, who will be finishing his AFC South predictions. We'll talk a little NFC East. Bears in Seattle tonight on ESPN. And then Russell Copeland will join us, and then Ron Higgins will join us. We'll talk about this TV deal and what is going on with the SEC. One last thing here. Those Grizz 18 national TV dates on ESPN, TNT, and ABC, the 10 more. Opener is at home against the Knicks. We know now MLK will be here against Phoenix. What a great game that is going to be. And then they got the Warriors primetime on Christmas Eve. First 19 games this year. Remember how they had that terrible start last year, 9-10? That will not happen this year. The first 19 games include 10 teams that did not make the postseason last year. So this could be good. They got a tough closing. All 4 games are on the road. They got a stretch around Christmas that is brutal. Got a couple of tough stretches. Longest home stands 5 games. Longest road stand 5 games. So going to be fun. And we will, obviously, as the time approaches, get closer and closer to the end. That NBA release now, the NBA has a good habit, like the NFL, of keeping themselves relevant with announcements that trickle out throughout the year. We're sitting in the Family Leisure Studios. You've still got a couple of weeks. The above-ground pools with this blowout sale that is called the Summer Clearance Sale. $2,000 off and some do-it-yourself specials that are too good to pass up with a free ladder. Upgrades, a whole season worth of chemicals. You can't beat it. 30% off in-stock patio furniture, which is state-of-the-art. Play gyms and trampolines up to $1,000 off with free installation. Please go see my friends. Go see Lindsay. Go see Billy. That is at Family Leisure, I-40 and Wooden Road. And our title sponsor, as always, it's Homer. Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch. That is where you will never pay more than sticker price. Some dealerships taking advantage of the laws of supply and demand. We are getting more cars. But Chris True said it right from the very beginning when he saw some places charging $7,000 over sticker price and saying it's a good deal. It's not. Not when you're never going to pay over sticker price at Homer Skelton Hyundai, right there at the corner of Craft Road, the first exit in Mississippi, and Highway 78. That's Lamar in Memphis. Last time we were watching Joey Magnifico, he was playing for the Michigan Panthers in the USFL, and he had a terrible, terrible injury. Joey, who is the head coach at St. Benedict High School, they open up tomorrow against Brighton, joins us now. First off, let me ask you this. Forget the injury. I'll get to that in a second. I don't think I've ever asked you on the air point blank. Philadelphia, several years ago, key moment in the Tiger season. You made a catch, I thought, that got overturned and was ruled ineligible. Tell the truth. Joey Magnifico, did you make the catch?
Oh, absolutely. I feel like I'll always be known for that, and my answer is always going to be yes. I know I caught it.
I thought you did, too. That was a tough break. But watching that injury when you played for the Michigan Panthers with the USFL, that was tough to take. How are you doing right now?
I'm doing good. I just had my second surgery probably 3 weeks ago, so still recovering, trying to get some feeling back in my toes. But, it's going to be a slow process, but there's lessons to take out of it, especially for my kids. I can tell them, football can be taken away from you in the blink of an eye. So some lessons out of it. But I'm doing good.
Do the doctors say that you will get total feeling back in that leg eventually?
Yes, sir. They just don't have a timetable. Just whenever it comes back kind of naturally, will come back on its own. So hopefully sooner or later, I'll get some feeling back in it.
I certainly hope that is the case. I'm guessing that means your career, especially since you said it can end in a blink of an eye, you are now officially retired. Is that the case?
I am. I'm going to switch my full entire focus to coaching. I gave it my shot, and, unfortunate events happened. But like I said, I'm retiring. I'm hanging the cleats up.
Up until then, though, that was a pretty good experience. Tell me about the USFL. What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it?
So, yeah, it was an awesome experience. All the teams were in the same hotel, so you got to see a lot of guys from different parts of the country. I actually linked back up. Paxton Lynch was on my team down there. And so I got to link back up with him, and then we had our head coach, Jeff Fisher. So, just being down there for a couple months with them and learning some more about football, it was a great experience.
What did you learn from Jeff Fisher in particular?
I learned a lot of things how he managed the team. So when I was going down to the USFL, one of my biggest plans was, I wanted to play, but, I wanted to coach too. So I went down there trying to go as a coaching mind as well, taking some different pointers from him. And just the way he manages games, manages his locker rooms. He's a real big player coach, and I had a really good experience around him.
Since you brought up Paxton Lynch, and tell me this from a coach's perspective, why do you think it just hasn't worked for Paxton? When he left here, obviously a high first-round draft pick with Denver, and it didn't happen. It's not happened anywhere for him. He's been all over the place. What's missing with Paxton?
I wouldn't necessarily say anything's missing, especially when you get up to the league and you get into that competition. It's really right place, right fit. Everything's got to fall in line. You got some type of athletes like your first rounders that are just God given. But I think it has to do sometimes the right fit, right place, the right timing. So he has all the mechanics in the world to go be a starting quarterback in the NFL in my eyes. So I think he'll get there one day. Still, I know he's still trying to play as well. So
is he still with Michigan?
He will be, yes, sir. I know he's right now just training in the off season, so I haven't talked to him in a couple weeks, but still keep in touch with him.
All right. Let's go your story minus the USFL. You graduate from here. I think you're the number one all-time tight end in the history of the school. It was so much fun watching you play with your exuberance, your passion for the game, and your skill. And then you surprisingly become a head high school football coach almost right off the bat. How did that all work?
It was a crazy time after I graduated college with COVID hitting. Things just not going my way. I was doing different, odd jobs, laying turf down, working at Amazon. And one day I got a call from our AD asking if I wanted to be a head coach. And, man, like I said, I'm the youngest head coach, I think, in Tennessee. So getting that call, I had to jump on it. My passion for the game, I love it. And so I had to jump on that right as they offered it.
Are you still the youngest coach in the state of Tennessee?
I don't want to say yes, but I'm pretty sure I am. I don't want to
Wow.
give you a wrong answer, but I think I am.
And this will be what year? Is it 2 or 3? I'm trying to remember.
This is year 2. So I was an assistant linebacker coach in 2020, and then I got the head job. Now this is my year 2.
All right. So last year didn't work out so well. How about this year? What will happen for St. Benedict football this year?
I think we're going to open a lot of eyes in the city. Last year we were a young team, so everybody's coming back. We got some more kids coming in that could really change the dynamic of this school. I'm looking forward to watching them on Friday night and kind of just opening eyes that, St. Benedict's back. Back to when I was playing, when we were winning games, we're back. So I can't wait for them to go put that product on the field.
You open up tomorrow against Brighton. What are some of the things that you're really looking for in that game?
Little things. One thing we learned at Memphis, and I'm going here and doing the St. Benedict is little things. A football game can come down to one play. It could be in the first quarter. It could be in the fourth quarter. Just staying consistent, playing good ball, and, every play, next play mentality.
You played for both Fuente and Norvell, correctly? Am I correct in that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Who are you more like, Justin or Mike?
I'm more like Coach Norvell. Coach Fuente was there my redshirt year, so I got to learn a little bit from him. But then I was there with Coach Norvell for 4 years, so I really just was a sponge to him and all the coaches around him. We had some really good coaches that came through Memphis during my time, and I'm blessed to know all of them and be still in contact with all of them. So I would say Coach Norvell and Coach Dillingham and Coach Tokars and all of them, and they're kind of like my mentors when it comes to coaching.
So do you run that kind of an offense?
Yes, sir. We run a similar offense too. You have to slow it down a little bit for high school kids because Norvell's offense was so complex. But for the most part, we're kind of running the same thing where we sprinkle a little different things in. But yes, sir.
What have you changed about your style from? Because it's always different when you think about doing the job and doing the job. What have you changed since you took it over a couple of years ago?
So my first year or two, I was really energetic, and I'm still really energetic. But this year, I've kind of sat back and let my coaches coach a little bit and oversee things. And I think it's really helped out us a lot. I got some really good coaches on my staff, a couple former NFL players, a couple old Tigers. So I've been kind of just sitting back and watching and stepping in when I need to. and I think it's been going really good this year so far.
Can't wait to see the improvement. You didn't win any last year. What would be a good year for you realistically? I know you want to win them all, but what would be a great year for St. Benedict this year?
I want 5 wins. I don't care how they come. I just want 5 wins.
That sounds realistic and fair, and I'm pulling for you, Joey Magnifico. Thank you for dropping by, and we'll do this again as the season progresses. How about that?
Sounds good. I appreciate you having me on the show.
Yeah, and get well. I hope that that rehab works out so you got feeling back in that leg. I really do.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you. That is Joey Magnifico, whose team, St. Benedict, will play against Brighton tomorrow. By the way, same time tomorrow, 10:10, we begin our high school coverage with the coach. We always have mine. Glenn Rogers Jr. from MUS will be joining us every Friday from here on out. Always fun to talk with ex-Tigers who have done well, and there's no question. And I just do feel bad because Joey was absolutely, positively on his way to, I think, becoming one of the better tight ends in the USFL. It's unfortunate, that injury, and it was an ugly injury, already requiring 2 surgeries. This portion of our show brought to you by Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, the tune-up. The tune-up, it by the way, is going to get warm again, a little more humid as the weekend approaches. You always, really, till what? We get to October, November, you still need air conditioning, right? If you're short on any kind of Freon, they're going to check that with the tune-up. In the wintertime, it's different checkups. Here we get a Freon leak check, and when they go outside, they put a little Teflon coat on the blades of your outside unit after they clean all the dirt and the grime and the leaves out. That 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-Up inside leaves everything in harmony and efficient. An efficient system saves you money on your MLGW bill, and it makes your system last longer. And these ain't cheap. You want it to last as long as you can, so do the maintenance. Do the Super Tune-Up from Conway, 384-3511. It costs $69. It saves you in the long run. 384-3511. Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. We'll hook up with Russell Copeland. Bears tonight. Oh, I got a feeling they're going to be stinkers all year long. But they're 1-0. They beat the Chiefs last week, so they're undefeated. We'll see how long that'll last. Russell will give us his take on that game in just a minute.
Hi, folks. Bill Russell at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, and I'm excited. I just returned from the largest jewelry show of the year and the first really big international market since COVID turned our world upside down. The new merchandise is coming in almost every day, and it is magnificent. Whether you're looking for a beautiful diamond engagement ring or a bracelet set with fabulous sapphires, come see the endless possibilities. Maybe a fabulous ruby necklace or a pair of earrings set with sparkling green emeralds. There's a stunning selection waiting just for you. And I invite you to take advantage of our 37 years in business right here in Memphis. Come see what you get when you combine beauty and value, quality and service in a fine jewelry store. What you get is Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers. I'm Bill Russell, and I invite you to join thousands of Memphians who call Russell Brothers their personal jewelers. Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, 4646 Poplar at Perkins.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. Have you been turned down by your homeowner's insurance in the past 12 months for damage you believe you're owed? Call Brian Elder Roofing now. Our professionals will do a no-obligation, thorough evaluation of your property and document all damage we find. Our fully certified Hague inspectors are trained to identify storm damage to assess and build a full estimate in a language your carrier will understand. If there is no damage found, we will tell you just that. We build a data file of your actual storm damage for your carrier, all at no cost to you, free. So call now for your comprehensive roof guarantee from Brian Elder Roofing. Call us, 867-0303. That's 867-0303. Or schedule online at brianelderroofing.com. Because if you think it's a claim, we'll help you show it's a claim.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Welcome Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at triumphautosales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
Hi, Jimmy Stovall here with Corky's Barbecue. Catering has been our specialty for more than 38 years. Corky's makes it easy for you to impress your guests at parties, family reunions, weddings, or just treating your hardworking employees to a great meal to say thank you. Let us do all the work. Come to your location, set up, and serve your hungry guests an all-you-can-eat barbecue buffet starting at only $8.99 per person.
Encore flavor, Corky's barbecue.
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Russell Copeland's going to join us here in a minute. You know, he was a part of many, many teams. He understands teamwork, and he's brought to you today by a guy who really understands teamwork, too, and appreciates it sort of from a different perspective. It's insurance. It's Matt Eflin, who's a big Tiger fan. In fact, in his number, you can tell. His number is 901-386-GUR, which is 4777, but the GUR is in honor of the Tigers like Russell Copeland. Here's what Matt and his team do. They get to know you. It's insurance with collaboration. He'll know your family. He'll know what your goals are. He'll know what your budget is. And then he picks out the perfect thing to protect you, whether it's home insurance, an auto program, or even life insurance. Whatever fits you best with your pocketbook in mind, the Eflin Group will cover you. Same thing with commercial insurance, particularly small to mid-sized businesses. If you want to get forecasted out and let Matt and his group get to know your company, they'll figure out with your budget the perfect protection for your business for years to come. Again, 901-386-GUR. Call them. That's the Eflin Insurance Team. Russell Copeland, my Bears tonight against Seattle. It's a game on ESPN. The Bears are undefeated. They beat the Chiefs. Wait, this is the preseason, right? The Bears are going to stink, aren't they?
Well, a lot of holes. Definitely, I think trying to protect their young quarterback is going to be the biggest question. Can they protect young Justin Fields? I think defensively they'll be solid. But I think the main key is protecting Justin Fields, being able to get the running game, get some play action, get him outside. But keeping him healthy is going to be the number one focus for the Chicago Bears, and see if he can make strides from his first year to his second year starting for 17 games.
This is week 2 of the NFL preseason. Now it's a little different, right? Because we don't have the 4 preseason games anymore. We got 3, unless you're playing in the a Hall of Fame game, which is done. What do you think coaches are really looking for at this point?
I think they're trying to finalize their roster. When you look at it, you got 11 starters offensively and defensively. Now when you look at their backups, then that's around 43, 44 players. Now you're looking at players that can be the number 3, whether it's going to be a quarterback, there's going to be an extra offensive line, maybe a wide receiver, defensive back, because, you know, the game is passing. But all of these players that's going to fill out the roster, they're going to have to be able to play on special teams. So if it's going to be close between 2 players, whichever one of these players excel on special teams will get that nod. But they're looking at good, solid special team players. And every now and then, Dave, you'll get a surprise. You'll look in camp and you'll say, hey, this guy right here can help us not only on special teams, but he may be a 3rd or 4th receiver. He may be an extra defensive back, or he definitely could help us solidify our offensive line or defensive line.
And really, we're talking about what, the last 10 spots maybe. I think there's 50. What is there? 53 guys on the team now.
It's 53. Then you have your practice squad guys. So definitely you're looking at around 10, 7 to 10 guys that you're really focusing on that can add depth to the end of your roster.
All right, you were picking predictions, and that's what you've been doing every Tuesday and Thursday. And we kind of tried to finish with the AFC South on Tuesday, and we had some phone issues. I believe you had picked the Indy Colts over the Titans. Why don't you sort of go over quickly what you think will happen there before we embark upon the NFC, and we're going to start with the NFC East.
Yes, Dave. I think the AFC South is a two-team race, and I think it's going to be between the Colts and the Titans. I picked the Titans because I think they had a significant upgrade, parting ways from Carson Wentz, getting Matt Ryan from the Atlanta Falcons to go along with arguably probably the number 2 best running back in the National Football League behind the Titans, Derrick Henry and Jonathan Taylor. I love what wide receiver Michael Pittman Jr. has been able to do. We'll see a lot of big plays from him having Matt Ryan. Paris Campbell can stretch that offense. And I also like the rookie that they picked up from the University of Cincinnati, wide receiver Alex Pierce, ran a low 4.4, big receiver. I think he'll pay dividends for them. He'll make a lot of catches. And they also have a really good, solid tight end in Mo Alley Cox. But they have a good, solid defense led by DeForest Buckner. You got Darius Leonard at linebacker. And picking up Stephon Gilmore, I think he'll be healthy. It'll be a big acquisition for their backfield. But going to the Titans, they won the division last year, 12-5. They were the number 1 overall seed in the AFC. But how effective can this running game be with Derrick Henry coming back from a significant foot injury, having one of the worst passing attacks in the National Football League? When you look at Ryan Tannehill, you get to the playoff game, you play it at home. This is a football team that had lost 2 playoff games previously before the last couple of years. That made it 3. 2 of those was at home. But, his statistics are ranked 8th, tied for 8th, as far as one of the worst passing statistics. I just think losing A.J. Brown, not having a really good passing attack, that's why I picked them number 2. But a surprise, Dave, the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm not going to say this year, but they'll be very competitive. And I think they have the pieces to be able to make some strides similar to what Cincinnati Bengals did. I'm not saying Super Bowl, definitely not this year, but picking up Doug Peterson, parting ways from Urban Meyer, I think we'll see big dividends with Trevor Lawrence in his second year starting. I like Zay Jones they picked up from the Raiders to go along with Marvin Jones Jr., also Christian Kirk from Arizona. Big acquisition with Evan Ingram, if he can stay healthy at tight end. I think they'll be number 3, but I think they'll play well. You look at the Texans, Lovie Smith is hired on. I think they just have a lot of, situations that's going on with the Texans. I still think they'll be last. I think they just have a lot of dysfunctional things going on with the Houston Texans.
I certainly don't agree with. Agree with you on the bottom side here. I think Jacksonville. I'm curious to see second year what Trevor Lawrence is all about. Mm-hmm. Is he really going to be the real deal, as we all suspected that he would when he was taken number 1 overall? How good will Derrick Henry be? That foot injury. What do you know about it? How quickly can you come back from that and be the old Derrick Henry?
Well, it was a possible, career ending. I mean, when you hurt that the top of that foot. But I think for me is that not having an effective passing game. I think they have to be able to have some balance. I don't think Derrick Henry, he's getting older. He's had a lot of carries from high school at Alabama. Now you look at the pros, what he's been able to do, went over 2,000 yards a couple of years ago. I think we start to see a slight decline in Derrick Henry simply because they do not have a really good passing attack.
Titan fans do not want to hear that's for sure. All right, let's move to the NFC. We start with the East. Giants, Cowboys, Eagles, Commanders. Not exactly what we used to think of the NFC East. Not the powerhouse, maybe. Are the Cowboys poised to be the favorites here?
Well, I think this division is a toss-up, and I think it's going to come down to which one of these teams has the best defense. And I think I'm picking the Philadelphia Eagles because I think they have the best defense coming into this season. I like the acquisitions that they have made. When you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, being able to have a defensive line, what they have, I love their defensive line. Fletcher Cox picking up Jordan Davis, big Jordan Davis from Georgia. I think he'll play very well alongside Fletcher Cox. But I also think the Dallas Cowboys have the best quarterback. With that being said, they lost a lot of weapons. That's why I'm picking them number 2, losing Amari Cooper, losing Michael Gallup, losing Cedric Wilson, and also they got James Washington was a high second-round pick for the Steelers. He goes down. I think it'll be a controlled offense. I think they'll hit their tight ends. They'll get their running backs out of the backfield. They do have arguably the number 1 and number 2 running game as far as a 1-2 punch, probably behind Cleveland, Chubb, and Hunt. But I don't know if the offensive line is going to be able to protect Dak Prescott. They're going to have to rely on their defense, which is a very opportunistic defense. But can they repeat what they had last year, having all the turnovers? They gave up a lot of big plays. I have them number 2, Philadelphia Eagles number 1, and number 3. I'm going to have the Washington Commanders. I like this football team, but when you look at them on paper, their defense underachieved last year. And toward the end, they folded. They had a lot of injuries on that side of the football. They can run the ball with Antonio Gibson, and J.J. McKissick, but their defense is going to have to step up. I got them at number 3. They finished 7-10 last year. They'll probably finish somewhere around there. And last, I'm going to have the Giants. They finished 4-13. I think this is the dark horse, but I love them picking up Brian Dable. But can they be able to get their quarterback, Daniel Jones, up to speed, and can Saquon Barkley get back up from his ACL injury a couple of years ago? But I have them finishing 4th. But when you look at this division, Dave, I think throughout the year, I think we'll see the division lead change back and forth. It is so competitive in that division. I think it's probably going to come down to the last couple of games. But give me the Philadelphia Eagles.
Since you say it's going to be back and forth, I guess with all 4, or it's certainly 3, what's the final record that Philly has to win the division?
I think they can go 11-6, 11-6, 10-7. I think that's how close the division would go. But I think they have an opportunity maybe to put 2 teams like they did last year. But I give them 11-6. Jalen Hurts, I think he has a lot of weapons now. Having A.J. Brown will really be big, for him. I love their tight end. They can run the football with Miles Sanders and Kenneth Gainwell. But having A.J. Brown, I think we'll see Devontae Smith be the type of player that he was in Alabama. They got Quez Watkins who can stretch the field. And also you got Jalen Rieger, who was a first-round wide receiver a couple of years ago. He has a lot of speed, but I really like this football team. And the tight end was Dallas Goedert, very good tight end. But if Jalen Hurts can make that step, Dave, and I think he can because he has a lot of weapons, he can run the football. They have a very good defense that can get him the football back on the short side of the field. He can use his legs. He can throw the football around, let his playmakers make plays. That's why I'm picking the Eagles, because offensively for the Cowboys, being a controlled offense, they're going to have to be able to stretch the football. And I just don't know if CeeDee Lamb can be a number 1 wide receiver after losing Amari Cooper and playing with Michael Gallup. Now he's the number 1 focus. We'll just have to see, can he be that number 1 spot? I don't think he can be that number 1 spot and pick up consistently big numbers.
There are 2 former Tigers, that are key players in this division. You mentioned them both, Kenny Gainwell for the Eagles and Gibson for the Washington Commanders.
That's 3.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about Pollard with Dallas for a second there. Which of the 3 has the best year? Go over all 3 years. All 3 guys.
Tony Pollard is going to make a lot of big plays, but I still think he'll split time with Ezekiel Elliott.
Sure.
I think Antonio Gibson probably has the big year. He'll start. He'll split some time with McKissick, but I think he has the bigger year. But I think all 3 of them have a chance to play. Tony Pollard and Gibson both will be very close. I love Kenneth Gainwell. I don't know how they're going to utilize him. I don't know if they're going to really spell him a lot with Miles Sanders, or is he going to be coming out of the backfield, catching passes, lining up in the slot? I think he'll play a lot, but those other 2, Tony Pollard and Gibson, I think they have really big years.
We know Kenny Gainwell's got speed to burn and moves and instinct, but is he a big enough guy to take 20, 25 snaps a game?
Well, I don't think he's going to take 20, 25 because your number 1 back is going to be Miles Sanders, but he can spell Miles Sanders. I think you'll also see them run a lot of 2 backs with Miles Sanders and also Kenneth Gainwell. You keep him fresh. I think you'll see him run some gadget plays. He'll play a lot like Deebo Samuels, but not in a bigger role as Deebo Samuels is, but he'll be that type of player for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Since we're on running backs, the last thing, because we talk NFL and we talk Tiger football with Russell Copeland, that Tiger running room seems to be pretty deep. Brandon Thomas, they got a kid, Sutton, now that is a true freshman that may be the fastest. They said I heard last year before he even was on his way here that he had Kenny Gainwell kind of speed. You got the kid that transferred from Northern Illinois. You've still got Dree Clark, who's in great shape. Asa Martin. You're talking about 5, 6 guys in this running back room that could end up playing, And Ryan Silverfield is saying he's really only going to play 3 guys. I'm curious who wins, who doesn't.
Man, I mean, that's going to probably come down to the wire, and I think it probably is going to come down to game, which one of these guys can protect the football, which one has the hottest hand. You know, I still like Brandon Thomas. If he can get back to the form that he played last year, I think it'll be great. But you also need speed, and having speed with Sutton can bring another dimension. But it's going to come down to, Dave, the offensive line. Can the offensive line be able to open holes, open up holes for this running game? Because we know Ryan Silverfield wants a balanced offense, and he likes to run the football. And I think that is going to open up the passing game. But it's going to start with the offensive line. If the offensive line can be physical, we'll have a really, really great season out of these running backs and can put us in positions to win football games.
Yeah.
If not, we could struggle.
I think you're right about the balance, and I don't know about the O-line. We'll know more about that. I think there are 5 solid guys, but I don't think there's a lot of depth. And one of those guys, Austin Myers, is coming back from an injury. I think Gamble and Likes are terrific. We'll just have to wait and see about that. But I'm with you on balance. Even though Ryan didn't come out and say, here's what I'd like 50-50, when he was asked about snaps, he goes, well, there's usually on average 82 snaps in a football game. And he was talking about his main running back, his second guy, his third guy, and the kind of production they get. It all added up to about 40 snaps. So you're basically talking about 50-50. That's what he wants.
Absolutely. And I think that's going to be a key to success, especially when you want to pass the football down the field. But you have to be physical. But we all will see when we go to Starkville against those Mississippi State Bulldogs. We know they're an SEC football team. They're going to be physical on both sides of the football. So I think this is going to be a really big test for this running game and also for this offensive line. If this offensive line can hold up and play very well against Mississippi State, this running game can control the clock, and you'll see some big plays down the field. But it's going to start with this offensive line.
It is just about here. And don't forget the Bears and Seattle tonight, and then a full slate of exhibition games all weekend long. Russell Copeland, next Tuesday, we'll do the rest of the, at least most of the NFC, and get predictions out of the way. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Great connection today, by the way. Wherever you are.
Yeah, man.
Just stay there, buddy. Just stay there.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's our buddy. That is Russell Copeland on the National Football League. He's brought to you by Public Golf. I'm going to be playing some public courses this weekend, and I am really looking forward to that. I played 9 holes at Fox Meadows, sort of to test. Galloway, what shape that is in. I'm telling you, you need to play Audubon because on October 31st, it closes. It'll be closed for a while because they are really totally redoing the golf course. If you haven't played the new Overton Park, check that out, and it won't be long when the new Pine Hill opens. Memphis City Golf. It is better than it's ever been before, and in 2 years from now, there won't be many cities that have better public golf courses than Memphis. The city has embraced Memphis golf. They really have. If you haven't seen conditions of public golf in a while, those that are open now and flourishing, Fox Meadows, Audubon, Galloway, Overton Park, don't forget Whitehaven, a great 9-hole golf course. If you haven't played those courses in a while, you'll be shocked at how good they are. Please go check them out. Let's pause for a second. When we come back, we'll head actually to New Orleans. Our friend Ron Higgins is getting on a cruise ship, but we're going to get him before he takes off. Ron Higgins, we think, is next.
Let former Memphis Tiger Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy take you home every afternoon with Sports Time on Sports 56. Weekdays from 3 to 6 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Drive like a pro and support a great cause during the sales drive at Landers Ford and Landers Ford South. We've provided 100 new Fords to the pros at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Now they're all being sold with demo prices. A portion of the proceeds go directly to the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. That's 100 new Ford Explorers and Expeditions. Demo priced to sell now. This is a once-a-year opportunity to upgrade for less and support a great cause. Visit LandersMemphis.com or or come see us at Landers Ford in Collierville, Landers Ford South in South Haven, and Landers Ford North in Covington. With our Landers Easy Pass, you can get top dollar for your trade-in to help you save even more. Don't miss your chance to pay less during the Landers Sales Drive. Reserve your demo-priced new Ford, driven by a pro at the FedEx St. Jude Championship, and lock in low APR financing. Landers Ford and Landers Ford South. Remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
People who call QC Kinetics are pretty much fed up with joint pain.
It's to the point where it's affecting their quality of life. Maybe they can't pick up their grandchildren anymore, or golf, or play tennis, or walk with their friends.
Dr. Justin Garzone, Medical Director at QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, giving lasting joint pain relief with no drugs, no steroids, and no surgery.
The great thing about our therapies, there isn't any downtime. There's no side effects, so patients can get our treatment and continue on with their day-to-day life.
And Dr. Garzone speaks from experience. He had excruciating back pain and got relief at a QC Kinetics clinic.
Over a very short period of time, the pain went away completely, and I've had absolutely no symptoms or pain since my treatment.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 901-445-1010. That's 901-445-1010. 901-445-1010.
Add a little excitement to your sports watching experience by betting on all the action on FanDuel Sportsbook. There's a reason why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Their app is simple to use. They've got great odds on all different betting markets, unique fun bet types like same game parlay, and exclusive always-on promotions such as enhanced odds boost on the biggest events to let you get more action out of every game. And if you win, they even get you your winnings safely in as little as 24 hours. If you've never tried FanDuel Sportsbook, what are you waiting for? Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started and be sure to sign up with the promo code HAPPY so they know I sent you. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code HAPPY. Must be 21 and older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789.
Hi, folks. Good news from the Chevy Sheriff for truck buyers. A Chevy Truck Month at the Sunrise Chevy Ranch. Rebates up to $2,000. Discounts high as $10,000. Bankrupt, slow pay, bad credit. It's okay. Sunrise specializes in secondary financing. Need a good used truck? Remember, Sunrise Chevy specializes in used cars and trucks under $15,000. Chevy trucks cost less at the Sunrise Chevy Ranch, partner. Find new roads to 385 in Houston, Levy, and Collierville. Check out the all-new Sunrise Truck Corral. Huge selection of nothing but trucks. All makes, all models, all prices, all trucks, all the time. Next to Sunrise Wolf Chase.
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Ron Higgins is so dedicated to this show that he comes to us live from New Orleans on a cruise ship headed to Mexico. Thank you, sir. Where are you going?
I'm going down to Cozumel. That's where we're going to. So we're just kind of waiting to get on the boat here. It's one of the great things about living in South Louisiana that you can be at a cruise terminal in like an hour and then go cruise anywhere you want. So it's a good deal. It's a good break from preseason football practice.
Oh, I bet. And I just saw a story today on NBC on the Today Show where they were talking about how cruise ships lifting COVID restrictions are actually cheaper than they have ever been. It's like 40% off or some crazy number.
Well, almost every cruise that we've taken in the past year and a half, whether it's 7 days or 4 days or 5 days, we haven't paid more than $300 as a couple.
What? So wait. This is a 4-day thing to Cozumel. If you don't mind me asking, what are you and Paige paying for this?
$300.
$300?
Yeah.
And that's all the food and drink you can muster?
Exactly. Yeah. We did a 7-day back in July down to Key West and a couple of 3 or 4 different stops. $300.
Man, that is
we
crazy.
get a lot of offers because we've done this so much, and so yeah, it helps. Yeah.
Fantastic. That's almost fiscally as crazy as the new word that just came in today, the Big Ten TV deal. Fox, CBS, NBC, 7 years, $7 billion. Are you amazed at this, or are you like, I guess all of us, numb to these kinds of big numbers?
I'm kind of numb by now, honestly. I'm just waiting for the next thing in college athletics is for players to unionize so they can try to get part of the TV money. Honestly, I mean, that's like the next thing they're going to try and do. I mean, the NIL is crazy enough, but but I mean, look, everybody's kind of getting as many schools as they can. Their conferences that are really attractive. And you kind of raise the stakes. I'm sure the SEC will get a little bit more money in a few years. Oklahoma and Texas come in for good. So yeah, I mean it is absolutely nuts the amount of money, and that's why you see all these lavish athletic facilities being built, and that's why most athletic places, I mean, in Power Fives aren't in the red because you're making so much money off of TV. It's just stupid.
I sit here. I don't even know how much money per school yet each will get. But I did know this, and we know it's right around the corner that the SEC is going to get the kind of deals that the Big Ten has just gotten. But the only one that I saw that they got was they replaced CBS with ESPN on that Saturday package for $300 million. That's a far cry from the $350 that each network just paid the Big Ten. Where will the SEC go next, do you think?
Honestly, they made it renegotiate because they like the ESPN and ABC deal. Because of ESPN, you have the SEC network. The SEC always feels like they get a ton of stuff under one umbrella. They like having enough outlets on ESPN for all their football games to be televised. Basically, most of them on ESPN networks every Saturday. And I think there's not really a viable thing that they would want to go to. They wouldn't want to go to Fox. I don't think Fox would have enough money. But I think they like that. They like the ABC/ESPN type deal. So I'm sure they'll squeeze more money out of them. I don't think they want to go to NBC. They've done the CBS thing. So I think they're probably going to stand pat and is probably getting more money.
And probably their own streaming thing will occur. There's a lot of different ways now that you can make, and they can put more emphasis on the SEC network as that has gotten into more and more households. I guess we will have to wait and see. The other interesting aspect came from a meeting with the 11 college presidents and chancellors that are known as the College Football Playoff Board, and they're talking about usurping all the power from the NCAA when it comes to college football and putting it under the auspices of this committee and, of course, the conference commissioners that make up the management of the College Football Playoff Committee. What do you see happening here? Do you think there will be an expansion of the playoffs? Could it be as many as 16? Will there be some automatic qualifiers which would keep schools like Memphis or even schools that are in the ACC that might not be a part of these two big conferences in the long run? Let's say Wake Forest. I'll throw that name out there. Or Virginia, for that matter. Will they be included in this mix?
I think because of the TV packages, yeah, you have to give these networks some bang for all the money they're spending. I mean, and so I would think you would expand the playoff. You wouldn't go more than 16 teams. I mean, quite honestly, there's not more than 16 teams who probably deserve to be in a playoff.
Right.
But yeah, and I really do think. I mean, I think conference champions should be in there. I mean, even the non-Power Fives, I think you should be included there. But again, you should have so many at-large spots because the SEC really always usually has two teams, and other ones, some other conferences do. But I really believe, I'm tired of the Cincinnati's of the world, the Memphises of the world that have being shut out. The chance to go to play in New Year's Day bowls, you have to be almost perfect to get in those, and I just think they should be able to get in the playoffs if they win a conference.
Well,
they really should.
I mean, think of this. If you went to 16 and you had 6 AQs, you would still have 10 at-larges that you can get all these SEC and Big Ten schools in.
Yeah. I mean, and I have a hard time believing. And really, I really think you should really cap each Power 5 conference at 2 teams that can get in the playoff. I just think I can't remember a year where I thought there were 3 teams in the league, even the SEC, that should be in a playoff. I think you should cap it at 2.
I guarantee you that won't happen, but I don't disagree with your notion at all. All right, all aboard. I can hear him in the background. Thank you, Ron. We'll talk to you next week. Have safe travels.
All right, Wolo, take care. We'll see you.
You got it. That is Ron Higgins, our friend. Headed to Cozumel for $300 for the couple for 4 days. All you can eat and drink. Ladies and gentlemen, go call your travel agent today. One last thing before we say goodbye. Congratulations to 901 FC winners 2-0 at New Mexico. They are now winners of 4 in a row, 16-5-3, 51 points. That's 1 away from Louisville for first in the USL East. They are 14-0-1 when they have the lead at the half. They haven't lost a game if they're up at the half. That's incredible. Aaron Malloy, again, was incredible. 2 assists on both goals. Luis Fernandez, a left foot thing of beauty. And Goodrum in extra time with his 14th goal of the year. They're really fun to watch. Birmingham at home Saturday. Their goal differential's now plus 29. It's crazy how good this team is. That'll do it for us. This portion of the show has been brought to you by Ken Garland Custom Home Builders. If you've got land, you're not sure what to do with it, Ken knows. If you're looking for land, he's got some for your dream home. Maybe you want to keep the home you've got, but you want the modern amenities. You want the California closets. You want the island in the kitchen. You want the video room with the speakers in the wall. Ken knows how to do that with your older home. He's been doing that for years. I call it renovation with innovation. He does renovation. He does dream homes. Please go see what I'm talking about. Go to kengarland.com. Look at it closely. Then give him a call, 751-1632. He's one of those rare guys. Sees little details, big picture, all at once. You'll love what you see. Again, that number, 751-1632. Call Ken Garland, Custom Home Builders. Johnny Radio comes your way next. Tomorrow, Glenn Rogers makes his seasonal debut. High school football starts tomorrow. Can't wait for that. Have a great day, everybody.
I often say they've set the bar for the way car business should be done.